Just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton.
You are listening to
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl.
straight from Buenos Dias Media Studios in New York City. I am your host, the Big D, according to Charles.
You literally used it, the Big D.
I am here with my co-host, Charles and JR in the building.
Stop everyone.
Yo,
And this is the Grim Fix Podcast. Thank you very much for.
I feel like I'm on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Hey, thank you guys for once again tuning in. If you're tuning in via podcast, just remember to smash that follow button, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a few reviews, a few stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, also like the video, subscribe to the channel, activate that notification bell. And if you're Instagram, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as the Grim Fix Podcast. You can also find us on TikTok. And yeah, before we start, I just want to remind you, if you have a story you want us to talk about and read and discuss and just make it part of our show, send us that story at the Grim Fix Podcast at gmail.com. So with that said, let's start the show. Cue the French fries.
Yes, sir.
All right, so a long day, so I'm like a little disoriented.
Woozy.
I'm on medication, so yeah.
You got medicine head.
This is what it is. Today we're steering off a little bit from the serial killing per se.
Even though we've steered off like these last couple of episodes that we've done.
True.
So one thing we've been discussing for all you listeners and viewers out there is we've been discussing picking a lane when it comes to the podcasting, and we're watching our analytics to see what people respond to better. Obviously, it's no secret that there are tons of podcasts out there that talk about true crime and serial killers and whatnot. It's a hot topic. And the truth is, it's not a secret. There are tons of those that are very high quality production that are better than ours. Mm-hmm. But do they do it like we do? No. But with that said, with that pointed out,
do they have three of what we are? Three of us.
No. So, like, one thing we've noticed, we love the whole bantering back and forth about topics. And when we talk about serious topics such as, serial killers, but especially when we go towards the lives of children and things like that,
yes,
we have to keep a serious note so it doesn't come natural to us. So I don't know. I want to hear your feedback. If you want to drop a comment on the YouTube, if you're watching us, or if you're listening to us on podcasts, or you can just send us a message through our social media at the Grim Fix Podcast. Yeah, what do you enjoy? But so far, we've noticed people enjoy the bantering, the back and forth, the joking around these topics. And we love, me personally, the topic that I'm most passionate about is when it comes to like paranormal things, when we talk about ghosts, when we talk about the spirit world, when we talk about, things like Bigfoot and aliens, stuff like that. I can talk about that for hours. So yeah, we've been thinking about, maybe shifting a little bit, but you guys are the ones that are in control. Just let us know. We want to hear from you. Yeah. So before we started, we were talking about black coffee.
What's up with the black coffee, man?
So I've been meaning to say, like, I usually drink coffee twice a day. I have a routine. I wake up, obviously, and I usually drink coffee after like my workout. After I'm ready to go to work, I'll drink coffee before I leave the house. And then when I get to work, I usually make myself another cup of coffee, and then I'm good. Unless I'm doing the podcast, where then I'll drink coffee at night.
Yeah, that's when I drink 2 times.
So one thing I grew up drinking coffee with milk. Then as I got older, I guess milk wasn't really agreeing. I can't say I'm lactose intolerant because it doesn't make me sick. It doesn't give me the
It makes
runs.
you bloat.
It just, yeah, I feel uncomfortable. I feel bloated. So we had switched to what is the name of that? Jeez.
Soy, almond.
No. We did almond milk for a while, but we did before that. We did. Oh my God, what's the name of that milk? That fake milk.
Um,
What? Lactaid. That's production.
oh,
Yeah, they know.
Okay.
So yeah, lactaid, which is great, but lactate is it's pretty pricey. So anyway, I steered off the topic. Then
lactate.
I learned to drink coffee with creamer. And that's what I've been sticking to, the powder creamer where I just put a teaspoon in and I'm good. But as of lately, let's say this week, I've been drinking my coffee at work and I'm just making it black.
Yes.
I want to
Why the sun
eventually.
change?
Well, they say coffee is healthy. I mean, listen, no matter what you eat, even water, some people will say it's good for you. And somebody out there will find a way to tell you, like, maybe too much water is not that good.
Yeah.
When you go online, you're gonna find these top, no matter what it is. Some people say and swear peanut butter is such a great protein, but you also have these body builders like, oh, peanut butter is terrible for you. Anyway, so the healthiest way to drink coffee is actually black coffee, no sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to get to.
Ugh.
But it's so hard, man.
It is, I know.
It's an acquired taste. It's like beer.
Yes.
It's an acquired taste.
It is super hot, especially when it's like really, really dark. Like that heavy
Yeah,
coffee.
strong coffee.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so
But-
bitter.
But hey, when you have to wake up at 4 a.m,
So that's what I'm
That's
trying
heavenly.
to. I don't know. I really do enjoy my coffee in the morning before work with, some creamer and some sugar. I really do enjoy like that, my first cup of coffee. But I'm trying to like reduce my sugar intake and things of that nature. So at least my second cup, I'm doing black coffee, less sugar. I'm hoping that I can get to, because I want to do it gradually. I can't just, I just stopped today and I'm drinking black coffee. No, I can't do that.
You'll probably just end up stopping to drink. Stop drinking coffee. Period.
No, the thing is, you end up going right back to where you were. That's like diets. When people do these extreme diets, yeah, you're in the moment. You're all you're pumped up. But once that pumping up goes away, you go right back to the way you were. So that's why it's
Yeah.
important.
Or even
to
worse.
create habits. Yeah, or even worse than you were. So one of the recommended in all these like self-development books and courses, they always recommend for you to develop habits better. So you just do it gradually and it becomes natural. Once it becomes natural to you and it becomes a habit, then you can, just keep going. It's like working out. The first few days you're pumped up, then you don't want to do it anymore. But once you make it a habit, if you do it in the morning
Sure.
or after work, then you just naturally, even if you don't want to do it, you do it anyway.
Yeah, I was in that situation.
So that's
I know what it feels like.
that's where I'm
Yeah,
at,
you
man.
actually, even though you're tired and you do it, you feel better.
Yeah, so I've been taking my working out a little more serious now.
You're working out?
Yeah, I've been working out for the past, I want to say almost 2 years. Well, since COVID.
Wow.
I
Nice.
haven't been, I have been and I haven't been. Like I do, I wake up at 5 and I try to work out, but then it's like sometimes, I'm extremely tired, so I'll do like a mediocre workout, but I will do something, even if it's just yoga and stretching. Let's say I'll do one day because I'm like really exhausted.
Yeah.
I'll just do that. But I am incorporating. I do walk. I make it a personal goal to hit minimum at least 10,000 steps a day. So
Nice.
that I always do. I've been doing that for years. Yeah. But again, it's like, I get pumped up, and it's just, that's the whole thing with having an accountability partner, because when you start slipping, a person reminds you. So usually my wife does it. She'll tell me like, hey, you're but again, I haven't been so consistent. I haven't been going in hard consistently. So the truth is you can't really see the results, but I feel it. because I do it more for health reasons, not for looking, washboard abs in the beach. I do it more for health because as you get older, you have to keep moving. You
Right.
have to, I've always suffered from back pains. So I incorporate a lot of stretching in the morning, and I can tell you, I do feel great the rest of the day.
Yeah, you do feel better.
Yeah. So that's part of me. Today, we will be discussing, we decided to do a few stories, paranormal stories based off of Reddit. There's a ton of great stories, and I recommend everybody just go. And so there's a subreddit called Paranormal, and you find these types of stories there. So we decided to read a few of them. We had 3 that we had chosen out, but the truth is they keep updating this. So there's stories like posted like an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. So we're going to go through a few of these and hope you guys enjoy.
Have you ever posted something on Reddit?
To be honest, I think
Love you.
the most I've done on Reddit, I've used Reddit maybe for 3 years, I want to say. But I only do it for I want to say 3 years since COVID. Because they started doing the whole like I would check on stocks and like trading advice. Not saying that it's the best, but because of Reddit, you guys remember when GameStop went crazy?
Yep.
And the stock was in the toilet, and they
So they
started
ended
going
up
on
shutting them
Reddit.
down.
Well, yeah, they did the Wall Street Boys, I think is that they're called, and they did a subreddit on it, and they just started pumping out like all these ideas and pushing people to go and buy. And from one day to another, their stock went from like, let's say $30 a share, it went up to 300 and change a share.
Oh wow.
So a lot of people made a lot of money, and people like me that sold off their stock before this happened.
You were kicking yourself.
And the same thing happened with AMC. AMC, the theaters.
The movie theaters.
Uh-huh.
So AMC, I remember I bought about 100 shares. And the shares were like at $2. And then my son came and bought like another 100 shares. And then it went up to like $14 because of the whole Reddit posting. And he sold. He sold his. He's like, oh, fuck it. I'm getting my money back with a profit. And I made the mistake. Well, no, I didn't make the mistake. I held until it was 20, and then I sold, and then it went up the next day to like 60.
Oh.
So, but I still made money. But yeah.
Yeah, as long as you made something.
So on Reddit, no, I have not really posted. The most action that I've done, like posting, has just been messaging, which I've been doing lately because I have been inviting people to the podcast. Like these stories, I invited a few people like, hey, would you like to come on live on our show? And so one person responded that they were interested, but then they started like, oh, but I can't make it in person. I was like, well, we could do it through a Zoom link. Oh, well, this is a device that I have. I can't use whatever. I can't use Zoom. I was like, oh, all right, forget it. So,
Okay.
So there was that person that you were inviting was for specific
it was one of the stories
topic?
that I read. It was one of the stories.
Okay.
It's the same thing as like us reading it. The only thing we would have had a firsthand, an encounter, right, from the person that went through it. But it didn't happen, so that's
why it's hard to believe a lot of these stories.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. It's
it's
always gonna happen.
Yeah,
of course. That's what. But that's the good thing about this. We don't have to worry about is it real or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Is it entertaining? That's what we're worried about. If it's interesting enough and it makes us laugh and giggle and crack jokes on it, then it did its job. And then hopefully you guys, the listeners and viewers, can also enjoy the same thing we enjoyed.
I think I posted once on the subreddit 2-sentence horror stories. I think I did once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like it was something like
You gotta get that
I
music going on. That memory music,
I like it was something like I was scared or something, and then the other sentence was like, I will never sit on the toilet again.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey, well, what if you sit on the toilet? I've heard stories about you sit on the toilet and like una anaconda something and it bites
Yeah,
your in
snake
the
could come
nuts.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, a snake
okay.
comes out and bites you in
There's
the
that's
nuts.
plausible. That's
Yeah, so I'm like,
plausible.
what if something happens to you that you sit on the toilet and something bites on your nuts and you won't sit on ever on the toilet again? Like, it can happen.
Yeah, I think shit like that. I've heard it happens in Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not exactly
people
the biting, but yeah, people like going to
don't
sit on the
people flush
toilet.
alligators down the toilet?
Probably when they're babies.
I find that far fetched, but who knows?
Well, last week they found an alligator here in New York City.
Really?
They found them in the one of those places that they I think it was in Brooklyn, in a park in Brooklyn. They have like a pond there.
But don't they have a zoo in Central Park? They could have escaped from there.
Oh, no, but that's what I'm saying. It was in Brooklyn. It wasn't Central Park.
Okay.
And no, there's no way they can escape from the zoo either. So I quickly, once I saw that, I told my wife, I was like, I bet you it's one of these people that want to have these exotic pets, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, this is too big. We can't have it in an apartment. And
Yeah.
so they found it in poor conditions because alligators are not accustomed. They don't survive in the cold that we have here.
Right.
It's freaking winter. So that water must have been way too cold for the alligator. Or yeah, alligator, not crocodile. Yeah, alligator. And but yeah, sure enough, they took it to one of the zoos to nurse it back to health. And they did an x-ray, and inside the alligator there was one of those like bathtub plunges.
So
So it's obvious they had it. They must have had it in an apartment, like in the bathtub
Yeah.
or something.
They were probably
crazy.
pushing him back. Like he was snapping down, and was just pushing it.
Who would have an alligator as a pet in an apartment?
I'm telling you,
Some
these
a-hole.
these people that they fall into the whole, oh, I want an exotic pet. That's why people have like
Trying to be original.
tigers and lions.
Or people from the mafia, man. They feed people to those alligators. They
Could
feed
be.
people. Hey,
You're watching too many movies.
that happened in Puerto Rico.
No,
That
shit is
happened.
No,
real.
I'm not saying.
Dude,
I'm not saying it happens. But the way you make it sounds like you've been watching too many movies.
Did you guys watch Tiger King?
No,
yes,
Oh my god, get out. You've never seen Tiger King?
yes.
never even heard of it.
That's
Oh my
Joe.
God.
Joe, what's his last name?
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. Yeah.
Well, do
And
yourself a favor, go to Netflix and watch Tiger King.
and Carol Baskin.
So yeah, like Carol Baskin, part of the story that they said, even though last week a report came out that
That
supposedly he's alive.
She fed her husband.
Supposedly she
to the
fed her
animals.
husband to the lions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly she
Oh, hey,
killed
it can
them and-
happen. That happened in Puerto Rico a while back. They found a bunch of alligators and I don't know, somewhere, and they were saying that people were feeding.
Well, that's even in Tiger King, they talk about, I don't know if you remember when they talk about that guy from Miami that used to be a huge drug dealer,
Yeah.
and he had a bunch of like lions and shit like that in his house. People do things, I'm telling you, for the wrong reasons, and they just want to flex. That's all it is. They just want to flex. Oh, I got an exotic.
Hey, I have an alligator in my bathtub.
And everybody wants to be quote unquote different. So let's read our first story.
All right.
I have one here. It doesn't have a title. Yeah, this one doesn't have a title because this is somebody that commented on somebody else's story and they put in their own story. So this is from the_amor_fati. That's the person who wrote this. And she says, former theist, is that how you say it?
Huh?
If you're an atheist, theist, right? But they just put theist. I'm assuming they meant atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I was informed that my experiences were religious in nature as a child/teen. Logic and reason started to come into play in my late teens and 20s. And I became a stout non-believer in everything. In my 30s, enjoying and finally embracing my non-believer mentality, my husband informs me we have ghosts in the house. I laugh it off. For months, he is bugged by his experiences. Then, our kid experiences. Then, our house guests. I'm the only one not experiencing shit. Then, alas, I am woken up in the middle of the night by the worst smell, and I go downstairs to investigate it. I honestly thought my husband had burned popcorn. Side note, my kid once started a fire in our microwave with croutons, and the smell was so bad I had to throw the microwave out, and this is how I compared the smell in the moment.
Damn.
Here's the thing. I couldn't find the smell. I smelled it everywhere. It was thick, but I could not discern where it was coming from. I moved room to room, opened the microwave, and nothing. I opened the trash, empty. I had to evaluate if I was actually sleeping or dreaming. I wasn't. I started to walk upstairs when I realized there was something in the hallway. That alone, that's it. That's enough for me. I felt my skin pucker and not to go into too many crazy details. I fucking heard it talk to me.
Hell no.
Let me just say, I almost pissed myself and hurried back into my bedroom where I blacked out and woke up in the morning fucked up. No smell in the morning. No weird shitty feelings. I'm not saying that I wasn't dreaming or having a mental break at 2 a.m., but I'm also not saying that it wasn't real. We ended up moving soon after, and my life has been pretty solidly paranormal free since.
First of all, if you see something like that, your skin ain't gonna pucker. Something else is gonna pucker.
Fucking ass is gonna pucker. Like
Exactly. That's where I'm going. But
I
is
just
it
try
true?
to picture myself. That's my biggest fear, and like when we talk about getting a home, that's my. I don't know. I'm still not used to like if I were to buy a house, I still feel weird. Where like most houses, they're 2 floors. Well, at least here in New York. So you have like the living room and kitchen and a bathroom and the main floor, and the bedrooms are upstairs. That scares me.
Going up the stairs?
Not going up the stairs. It's just knowing I'm up there when I'm sleeping, and downstairs I can't. Like, what if somebody comes in? I can't hear it. Like I feel like it's far. That's why I'm not a big fan of these
Then you're gonna have to get
huge
yourself
houses.
a house, a 1-floor house.
Yeah, I think I have to get like a.
Get yourself a 1-floor house so you can be happy because
it is creepy.
And don't get me wrong, I love the idea because I love the fact that you have your bedrooms upstairs. So
that's perfect.
People over, they can just chill in the downstairs. You have your half bathroom downstairs, maybe a full bathroom on the top. But yeah, I think I would have cameras everywhere around the house, like if I was a celebrity.
Yeah, but have you seen those
You gotta get
videos
yourself a
where
panic room.
where people are like in the living room and they're just sleeping, and then somebody like comes in, creeps it out, and then opens the fridge and eats stuff and
So that's why
them.
I say I would like cameras, but think about it. I don't know. Would I really want to see that footage? Like you wake up the next day, like nothing happens.
And you decide to check the story.
You just say, let me check. And all of a sudden you see some shit in the camera. Like one of the stories that I read, I don't know if it's here though. I think I just read it. Where they talk about a baby. Is it that in one of the stories that I sent you guys?
Baby?
Not sure.
So there was a story that I was reading where her grandmother passes away and her baby is sleeping and she has the baby monitor on and she hears somebody talking to her baby. And the baby's like cracking up and she hears, I think her mama passed away and she hears her mom through the freaking.
Oh yeah, that's one of the stories. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, one of the stories you sent. That
I
was
don't know if we have it
yeah.
queued up here, but I found that story so interesting. I was like, holy shit! Like, imagine you have
You
a
know what?
baby monitor and you hear somebody, ooh, weep, 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 to your baby or some shit, and you're
It's
alone
like
in the house.
see. I seen the video. I seen they shown videos where they have like a baby monitor, just like pointing at the baby at the in the crib, and out of the
You see
blue you
the
see
hand.
a little hand and shit,
Yeah,
or you see the baby just talking to somebody, and you actually see there's nobody there. That creeps out.
that shit is creepy, man. Yeah, the one with the hand, I remember I saw they have a few videos of that. There has to be something to. I feel like that's a trick shot.
Yeah, but it's still creepy.
Hell yeah.
Even if it's
Just
fake, yo, even if it's fake, it's still just the thought of it. It's still creepy.
Like that's my like I have a camera. I have cameras here in the house that I put for the dogs while I'm at work.
Uh-huh.
And I always think about I was like, I don't want to look like sometimes in the morning I'll see it'll say a notification of movement. Now they I mean they updated the software so now it tells you it's like a pet, so it's probably like my cat. But before it would just say movement. You see me like looking at the video, like holy shit, something moved there. Like or noise like at 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah.
dude.
So that was that story from the_amor_fati. Who got another one?
Hey, I got one here. It's written by you. Says you/lonely_AD9225. And the title says, my boss came to see me when he died to make sure I finished my job. That's what's gonna happen to you, Charles.
I know.
They're gonna make sure if you're doing your job.
Damn it.
Okay, it says, so this just happened last week. The warehouse I work at, I was loading an empty trailer with a pallet jack. Once I filled it up with 30 pallets of merchandise, I decided to have one last look and inspected everything one last time before I closed it and get it ready to send it on its way. I walked in and I was halfway in when I saw my boss standing there. I froze. Yo, anybody will freeze, even if he's alive.
Yeah, even if it's a real boss.
Exactly. I froze in fear and I called out to him. I'm like, Alex, when did you come in here? He turned around and he was pale and ignored me. And I walked out. This is not like him. Alex never ignores me, but it was like he didn't know me. I then walked out confused and went to his office. The lights were out. I told my coworker, why was Alex inside the container? I told her it's very strange he was in there just standing and he even ignored me. She was like, that's impossible. He left in an errand like 20 minutes ago and hasn't come back. I didn't believe her. So I went to the parking lot and his car wasn't there. Once I saw that, I felt dizzy and almost had a heart attack. I still have the image fresh in my mind of what I saw in there. I saw him, but like I mentioned, it was more like a scary version of him. He looked pale and just scary. Completely ignored me like if he didn't see me. Then afterwards, the sheriff came and told us Alex had just been in a nasty car accident and didn't make it. I am beyond terrified to go back to work, but I have to go. Yeah, I think I'll be taking days off. I can't explain what happened. No, I don't do drugs, nothing like that. I know what I saw. I saw his ghost to make sure I finish my job. I just hope he don't keep appearing. After that happened, another coworker told me she was in the break room and she felt like someone was behind her staring at her. She turned around, there was nobody there.
Just like in
Get
the
to
movies.
work.
Get to
Huh?
Get
work.
to work. You see the hand like Get to work. And you're like, what?
Tapping on his clock.
Yeah, isn't there?
Wow.
There's a few movies like that, right? Where people die and they're like, the
Yeah.
spirit is there. They haven't noticed that they died yet.
Yeah, that. The only one that came up to my head was the Scrooge.
So
We had
I
the
don't
first
remember what
ghost.
movie it was. Yeah. So, oh my God. As you
Beetlejuice?
were reading the story, I thought about there was a movie, and then all of a sudden, it's like a young, like a teenage boy has like either a bullet wound in his head or a knife went through his head.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Sixth Sense.
I see
Ah,
dead people.
I
Oh,
see that
yeah.
people.
Sixth Sense. Yeah, Sixth Sense. I remember that. Like when he sees
Yeah,
the
the
girl
kid
in
in
the
the
accident.
bathroom, right?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I feel such relief.
Yo, did you ever see Entity?
No.
It's based on a true story where this lady is just constantly raped, molested by a ghost.
What?
Oh, I
Yeah,
remember the name. Yeah. What is that they
Entity.
call it? It's
It's
an
an old
incubus,
movie.
right? Is what they call that type of spirit.
What?
I think it's called an incubus, that type of spirit that rapes people.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it's called
recall.
that. Let's see. What
Not a
is
succubus.
incubus?
An incubus. Well, there is a band called Incubus.
Incubus, yeah.
Yeah.
So incubus is a demon in male form in folklore that seems to have sexual intercourse with sleeping women.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incubus. So for
That's an
those of you
oldie, but a
Damn.
goodie.
who didn't
Damn.
know that, now you know. All
Reminds
right,
me of a
Charles,
scary movie too.
read us one because I got this next one and I freaking love it.
Okay, this was the post of the week because 7 days ago was the post of the week. It's from the paranormal subreddit, and this is by Doctor underscore Drowsy.
Okay.
It says, when we were young, me and my brother used to Marco Polo all the time. It was our thing. We used to play with a boy named Jeremy who was 10 years old. Eventually, Jeremy stopped coming around, and me and my brother, being kids, kept playing Marco Polo or even tag. I remember
Marco.
distinct. Polo. I remember distinctly me and my brother getting mad that my mom wouldn't let Jeremy come over, or for us to go over to his house, being she's never met, yet alone seen the other kid we play with. So we remember telling her to meet him. We ended up going to the park across the street where we would play with him, and he never showed. My mom grounded us for inventing this lie about a kid, which wasn't a lie. I ended up finding out maybe a year later that the woman across the street lost a son named Jeremy who froze to death due to a blizzard years and years ago.
Wow.
So what creeps me out is now in present time, 2023, I am 29 years old. Me and my brother were drinking and were with our little brother, and my little brother was talking about past games, etc. And my spine chilled when he started talking about tag and Marco Polo. I got home and distinctly heard Marco. I am not going crazy. Could talking about a past event trigger this spirit to have found its way to me so many years later?
Interesting. You walk in your
So he
house,
believes
Marco.
that by talking about it, it made the spirit reappear in his life again.
Come back. Huh. That's like the typical story, like when we talk about La Llorona,
Yeah.
the woman dressed in white. Oh, I saw
They
her.
all
And then I went
dressed
to
in
her
white.
house, and then the family said, "Oh no, she passed away years
She
ago."
passed away, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the Llorona.
Well, I mean, just
But
saying,
it's similar.
yeah,
Yeah.
Similar. The
They
boy
have one in
died.
every town and
He
whatnot.
yeah.
Because I remember I've heard that same story back in Puerto Rico and Jauco, and they were saying the same shit.
So this story, I I found this one very interesting and curious. It's not really that scary, but I found it very interesting because I mean, you picture yourself and you put yourself in the position, right, of the writer. So this is from Diabetic Wormtail, and the title they
Wow.
put, "Is it looking for me?"
Ooh.
It says, I am 33. I am a 33-year-old man from a small town in Czech Republic. And I'm a heavy smoker. Every night before bed, I go for a walk to smoke my last cigarette of the day. Those who do this as well will understand when I say I love being alone outside at night. I just enjoy looking at the stars and otherwise misty clouds that cover the moon. I'm a bad singer, so this is also my opportunity to just be alone where no one can judge my little song. Sometimes I sing, and sometimes I just hum. I like it because it just makes a peaceful before bed routine. A few days ago was different. It was a little later than usual, and I had just stepped outside for my nightly smoke walk. But the cold made me reconsider. So I stayed by my door, huddled in my coat, and half-heartedly smoked my cigarette. As I stood there, halfway through my cigarette, I heard something that caught my attention. It was a man's voice singing a song. At first, I wasn't sure where it was coming from, but then I realized it was coming from somewhere nearby. I liked it because I always do that too, and I just felt some quote unquote me too, bro kind of way. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to check down the block to see if I could hear it better. As I got a little closer, I could make up the words, and my heart dropped once. I noticed that it was my song. And not only that, I realized it came from the area where I usually start singing. Even though I always sing it every night and someone might have just liked it, I noped the hell out of there. I'm usually not a coward, but I finished my smoke inside that night. I know I sound like a pussy, but it actually bothered me so much that I haven't gone for a before bed walk since. Last night, when I was in bed, I was almost falling asleep when I heard it again. My song, sung by the same voice. But what's so chilling about it is that it was so much closer. Whoever this is he looking for me? Did he just like the little song and did he develop the same kind of routine? Or is it a little darker than I hope? It's 10:30 a.m. as I write this, and I haven't felt like this much of a coward in a long time. It just feels off in a way that I can't explain. The energy is way better now, and I will gladly go outside, but the night has changed for me, and I'm anxious for tonight. So, is it here? So I know is it? Wait. Chilling is closer, or this is looking for me. Sign the dawn. Okay. I could have sworn that I read where he says that when they were singing it, it was his voice that he was hearing.
It was his
Yeah.
song.
So just imagine that shit. Just imagine you in bed and all of a sudden you hear somebody singing a song that you made up, and it's like your voice.
No, it's scary if you hear it outside. If you're in the house and you hear it outside, but it's worse if you hear it inside the house.
Yo, so I know that somebody commented that they think it's no. So somebody cool jeweled moon said that this most definitely sounds like a crawler, like a skin crawler.
Okay.
I've read so many crawler accounts that start out with the person smoking at night, and I've read many accounts of them mimicking back the same song the person was singing. They've been seen in countries besides the US, and they're thought to inhabit cave systems. And I see there are caves in your country. Are they in your area? Did the voice sound a bit strange at all? Perhaps like a recording of you singing?
Yo, that person did a freaking background check.
Yo, you imagine that shit, man?
You've seen a picture of a skinwalker?
I did when we did the episode of
they're creepy as fuck.
Creatures.
They're creepy as fuck, yo. So just imagine you're in front of your house smoking a cigarette. You hear somebody singing that same song, and you decide to go after to that. Well,
Exactly.
go to that person, so-called person. Yet you don't
Just for
find anything. But it's
just
worse
for
if
a
you would
Me
have
Too
found that.
bro moment.
Huh?
Just for a
What?
Me Too bro moment.
Me too, bro. Hell yeah. No, I'll stay there. Fuck it. If somebody else is smoking, that's hey, good for them. But even if it's not something paranormal, you don't know what crazy fucker could be over there. You don't know what asshole's gonna be over
Yeah,
there
man.
waiting for your stupid ass to go.
The viewers out there. So if you're listening to us on the podcast and you want to see, I recommend you go to the YouTube channel and check out the episode. I'm putting up a picture here of like a skinwalker. There's different types of skinwalkers for what I see. I mean, according to these posts. But there's some creepy ass. I mean, they all look creepy though.
Yo, it would have been
Didn't
cool if they would have
didn't
the sound. At
didn't they
least
have a
a sound
supernatural
recording.
episode of that?
I don't remember, man. Supernatural. I stopped watching so long ago.
I think they did.
I think I watched Supernatural to like season 7 or 8, and then I stopped.
Well, I
Oh,
have one
man.
from the paranormal subreddit. This is written or posted by L_A_ga, huh? 7 days ago. The title is My Brain Dead Father-in-Law is Haunting Me. Let's just call it FIL because that's how it's spelled so we won't be saying father-in-law.
Okay.
My FIL had a heart attack and hit his head a few months ago. Since that time, he's been brain dead in a medical facility. He is currently in a country where withdrawing life support is illegal. He will be kept alive on a bench and support until his quote unquote natural death, if you can call it that, since he's currently unnaturally alive. I've been having waking visions since this happened of him in an old school Soviet era bureaucratic office. That's pretty specific.
Mm-hmm.
He's there trying to claim his body. He starts each day with a mission to work his way through the queues of the 5 windows ahead of him so he can get all the paperwork and stamps needed to claim his body and go home. See, that reminds me of Beetlejuice. Remember when all the dead people, they were just waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting area.
Mm-hmm.
Each day, when he gets to the front of the line at the final 5th window, he has run out of time. The bureaucrat behind that window slams it shut and tells him to come back tomorrow. That sounds like real life.
Mm-hmm.
Each day, this repeats. Some days he gets closer than others, but every day does not make it to that 5th window in time. My neighbor's mother comes from generations of women with the quote unquote the gift. I asked my neighbor if her mother could communicate with him as he's in this in between life and death. Yeah, and she told me no, that's not how it works. She can only clearly communicate with the fully dead, but that the family members should tell him that it's okay to move forward and go towards the light. I didn't have the heart to tell them. 2 weeks later, my neighbor and her mother were doing a reading, and my neighbor's mother got a message that I need to tell the family that my FIL doesn't fully realize he's dead and that he's lost in the in-between. Mishka needs her to tell the family. She's the only one who knows who can deliver the message. I never told my neighbor, nor her mother, my FIL's name, no less his nickname. I still don't know what to make of this.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
that's what I mean. According to movies, right? According to Hollywood, according to Hollywood, yeah, it's like he's already. I mean, he's brain dead, so it's like he's already dead. The only thing that's alive is like the body. So his
body.
conscience, right? His spirit, if you want to say, is already like it's already out of the body.
That reminds me of Insidious.
Why?
Remember
I mean,
Insidious?
I confuse Conjuring, Insidious, all of those.
Insidious is the boy that when he sleeps, his soul goes somewhere, and then he
Gotcha.
visits something, and then like the body it's empty without a vessel, and then the demons are surrounding him because everybody wants to get inside the boy's body.
But ain't that and the Conjuring if they connected?
I think they're all connected, aren't they?
I think it's the same universe, but it's not the same story. But
Yeah,
it's in the
that's
same
why I always get them
universe.
confused. The Conjuring, Insidious, and then you have Annabelle, and they're all connected because it has like the same people. Well, what is it? The psychics. Yeah, what are their
Yeah,
names?
The Warrens.
The Warrens. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. Insidious.
and then having to tell like your wife and the family, like, hey, bro, your father's dead. How can this be? We're waiting. No, he's dead. He told me so.
That's crazy.
It's like Groundhog Day. The same thing happens every day.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that movie.
I tried watching it last
I
year,
can't.
and I couldn't get through it. I was like, all right,
Wow.
I've never been, or what is it, Bill Murray, right? That's his name.
Bill Murray.
I've never found him funny.
He's not. He's not. Well, to me, he's not.
I've never like even Steve Martin. I remember back then, yeah. I enjoyed Steve Martin, Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
But now it's
the
like,
early Danny DeVito.
Dan Aykroyd.
I was watching Throw Mama from the Train.
Oh,
my God,
Billy
that's
Crystal.
a movie.
Do you find Billy Crystal funny?
No, it's just the randomness of an '80s movie.
Uh,
But
You
the
want to
but
talk
the old
about
lady,
random?
but the old lady is funny as heck.
Dude, you want to talk about random? I was watching the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh
wow. I even forgot that was a movie.
Yep.
Garbage Pail Kids.
That is uber garbage, yo.
I remember. Oh my God, we used to collect those cards so hard.
No, the cards were great, but the movie,
Oh
it's a
wow, I
freaking
forgot
flop.
about that. I'm
we
telling
used
you,
to collect the Master of Puppets cards. Master of Puppets, was it?
I
Puppet
don't know.
Master.
Puppet Master.
The Puppet Master cards. We had those.
I remember.
I
No,
used
that's
to
not the
actually buy
Garbage Pail
those
Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids.
I remember we used to collect them shits hard. I'm talking about like, he used to bring like a gum, right? Wasn't it like a stick of gum, a hard ass?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they all did. Even the baseball cards. Now they're cheap. They don't come with gum.
Wow.
I actually have one pack somewhere around.
The Garbage Pail Kids.
Yep.
Wow.
I still have a
Totally
pack.
forgot it. Yeah, I just had the ill flashback
We went full retro.
of like.
That's why I
Silvio's
ended up
Pizza.
watching it because I bumped into it and I just saw that cheesy beginning. I was like, this looks familiar. And I kept looking at it. Once the title came out, I was like, what? And I just ended up watching the whole movie.
I think the only two movies that I consistently watch from the 80s,
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club is one, and the second one is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Why not Big Top Pee-wee?
I'm telling you, I consistently rewatch those movies at least once a year.
Talking about Pee-wee, I saw it, but I didn't get to see the video. But he actually has a show, and I bumped into it on cinema, and it's an adult thing.
Well, if you look up
on
that,
I tried watching it, but I couldn't find the
that
file.
show comes before he became famous.
Yeah, I know it's before.
They have
but
it on
I
HBO. Yeah, on HBO they have the whole season. I watched one episode, like
I haven't seen it yet.
a few months ago. I was like, oh shit, is this a show that he got after he got canceled? But no, that show came.
How did he get hired after that?
Well, that's why that show came before all that.
Right. How did he get to do a little kids movie after that?
Well, yeah. Well, the character.
People forgot about it.
It was funny. Well, he was funny. It's not really that raunchy like that. It's just, it has like adult innuendo, but it's not. It's nothing crazy. But it's a live version set of Pee-wee's Playhouse, And I guess that's where they got the idea to create the show for kids, which I remember I used to watch every Saturday morning. I'm telling you, I don't know why. I was such a Pee-wee fan. Like, you think
You
of it
still
now,
are.
it's kind of stupid, but the truth is, I was I had
The dude was funny.
doll. I
The
had
dude
the
was funny.
doll that you would pull the string, and I go. "Ah." I had that. I remember, man. Like I was a huge fan. So the movie, it was just. I tell you, I watch it every year. I always said if
They
I
should-
have another kid, I bought a DVD. It's still brand new, sealed. If I ever have another kid, I want to show him or her this movie. That's gonna
I
be
tried.
his or hers copy. Because David's watched it. I mean, he's watched it a bunch of times with me. But yeah, I don't know why. I love that movie. I
Large
know it's
Marge.
stupid. It is stupid. My
Yo,
wife gets pissed. She goes, "You
we
watching that
literally
shit
got to
again?"
sit down and dissect that one.
Yes.
But that movie, wow. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman, ladies and gentlemen.
Even though they should have left it at that one.
Yeah, Big Top Pee Wee. I don't
And
even remember. I
Pee
think I
Wee's
watched it maybe
Holiday
once
was
or
even
twice.
worse.
No, but I'm telling you, it's just that Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
It was so original. That's why.
Like Pee Wee's Playhouse, they had it on. They had it on Netflix for a while. I don't know if they took it out, but I know they had it on for a while. That's why I first noticed that Morpheus from The Matrix is on that show.
Really?
Oh yeah, it
he's
was
like the cowboy,
yeah.
and he has like
Cowboy.
curly hair. This
It's
girl
Jerry
from
Curls.
Orange is the New Black. Oh, her name is Natasha Lyonne.
Don't
And
know who
she has the show called Russian Doll on Netflix, and she has a new one coming out called Poker Face.
Maybe if I see the face, I'll probably know, but by name,
Well, yeah, she as a kid she was in Pee Wee's Playhouse.
wow.
So this has been our Reddit stories on paranormal, quote unquote, paranormal activity.
We need to get scarier ones, man.
Yeah, I need you guys to drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about the story. Yes, there are some cheesy ones, but there are also some scary ones. We will keep digging to find even scarier ones. And if you have a scarier one, then just send it to us at the grimfixpodcast@gmail.com. If you had not done so yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, leave us some comments. We want to hear back from you. So I think with that said, we can head out until next week. Please be safe. This is the Grim Fix Podcast.
Peace.
Peace.
Tacos, man. Tacos.
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 Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.